All right, as we get into it here, we're going to hold on to the possibility of quiet weather starting out this early morning as you get into La Crosse. Eau Claire still has a little bit of wind up there right now. That wind will back off as we finish out the 6 o'clock hour going to 7 o'clock hour for you. 34 degrees for Winona, 31 up there in Eau Claire, and 32 degrees as you get into La Crosse right now. So our temperatures are up there. That ridge of high pressure is underneath us and continues to do so. While we have more of that northwesterly wind, that's going to usher in some colder air eventually. But until then, we're still holding on to some moisture coming in off of the west coast. You've got out of the Pacific Northwest and Canada, you've got a mix of rain and snow. Out of California, you're holding on to the possibility of more rainfall on the way. That's going to go over the Rockies, up to the northern tier, and then dive right back down into the northern and central plain states, and eventually work its way to us as that enhances a bit. We'll get into how this all shapes up. You can see that moisture in the upper atmosphere there working its way toward us with the ridge of high pressure still working its way away from us. Now you can see La Crosse is up there. We're getting on the backside of that, and that's going to keep us warm all through tomorrow morning. Then eventually by the afternoon, we'll cool you on down. Highs for Wednesday, you're looking at 20s and some 30s in the forecast. 37 for La Crosse, 33 for Eau Claire. Getting into this as we go into those northerly winds kicking in for the morning. Then we switch by the afternoon with southerly winds returning. Temperatures will begin to warm back up again. You'll see those numbers continue on as we go into it. Clouds start to come back in. We get into at least cloudier skies as we go into the evening hours and beyond. We're also seeing some rainfall sneak in as it's crossing over areas by Minneapolis. We're going to start to see these temperatures cool down. You see we're near freezing up by Ladysmith, so we're going to probably see freezing rain first. As that happens, we'll call it freezing rain to freezing drizzle, working its way back up to the north. With that, we're seeing limited amounts of rain down to the south because that freezing drizzle starts to break apart most of that rainfall. But then we take a break as this kind of ticks out of the way. More rainfall comes back our way. Temperatures are now in the 40s, and we start to see that get a little bit down to the ground there as we get into Eau Claire, down to La Crosse, possibly into Black River Falls. La Crosse gets in that. We're still holding on to the 40s by the 8 o'clock hour for Thursday, and then continue on all the way through the 9 o'clock hour. We still have that rainfall in the region that still continues on, but once again the temperatures start to drop back down again a degree or two or so. You're starting to see a mix of rain and snow coming back again as it leaves the region, holding on to more snow on the way as we go into the afternoon for your Thursday. Temperatures drop back down to the 20s widespread with some 30s to near freezing or below, and then eventually we're going to see that continue on all the way to the 9 o'clock hour as we finish out with more snow in your forecast to finish out for your Thursday going to your Friday, with a 20% chance of that trying to get back to the ground for Friday in the morning. Eventually we'll start to see this. Highs for Thursday will be in the 30s and the 40s for you. Eventually we'll get back into how this all shapes up for Friday's lows, mostly from 1 degree or minus 1 degree all the way up to 6 degrees in the forecast there. We'll hold on to Friday's highs and temperatures in the teens to the low 20s, and then eventually as we go into how this all shapes up for the next few days, we'll go back into the weekend where temperatures will begin to start to cool gradually. For Eau Claire, you see that by Friday going to Saturday, the teens and the 20s. Holding on for us, we have the 30s, and then more 20s coming back in to 30s by Saturday, Sunday. You have more 20s back in the area, and as we go into next week, we start to warm you back up. Back to you.